we brought up Howard, and then we also brought up Anthony. I think Anthony's a great example of somebody who really evolved and sort of has come more into their own as a broadcaster and as a comedic figure on the air. And I sort of feel like Howard Stern has done it in this. He's done that also, but he's done it in a way that I think really more so alienates fans.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah, so I was just gonna add that it just feels like people weren't quite ready for it, but Howard was always ready for it because you can see the writing on the wall. Like, and I love Artie. I love Artie to death. Huge fan. But like when he's trying to interview like Paul McCartney, you can't have somebody nodding off in the background.
Oof.
You know what
No.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
really. But it's interesting to see how he wanted it to be more he wanted it to be more of a serious show, but people kind of want to fault him for that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people like to blame what's her face, that
Marcy Turk.
Marcy Turk, that she like came in and fired all the regulars and like, cleaned up the whole thing, and all the personalities, comedic personalities and comics that everybody loved were gone. And then it was more about like doing whatever needs to be done so that he can interview Hillary Clinton, and which is
Yeah.
such a departure. It's like he normally would be shitting on Hillary Clinton, and the long time, right? The fans that knew him at this snapshot in time are like, what the fuck? Like, this
And
isn't the
Ellen.
guy that we loved. Yeah, yeah. He like, yeah, right, like went Hollywood, but and then people are like, oh, he sold out. But it's like, who knows how any of us would be if we were in that position. It's so easy to say, but like I think there's probably like a real, I don't know, like maybe there's this feeling of like, this is what you have to do to stay relevant. This is how you need to be. You have enough people in your ear telling you this is how you need to go to
Hmm.
be relevant in 20, 30 years. I don't know. I don't know enough about Howard to know if that was his thing or if he was influenced that way. But a lot of
Yeah.
people, yeah, believe like all ends of that.
Well, I think that's a big part of it. I think people are sort of like when they discover somebody and they watch them rise to success, they're like, okay, they're at this level, but they're sort of just waiting until they float into the level where they say, they got them too. They're doing this, and this that I thought they'd never do. But that's sort of in a way why people start. Like you don't start a massive radio show with a huge crew with a $500 million deal to stay the same and have a ceiling. You do it so you can eventually interview presidential candidates and interview people like that.
Yeah.
And also the idea that Marcy Turk is some sort of devil, I find that fascinating too, because I don't think it's specific to her, but she seems to have been demonized a lot. Like she's some evil woman who's infiltrated Sirius. I mean, if I had to guess from the outside, she's a woman doing a job, and she's probably been asked, probably, by Howard and Gary to reassess things, and that's what she's done. But people sort of act like she walked into Sirius with a magic wand and waved it and changed the show.
Yeah, that's a lot of power to give to one person.